Welcome to Eezeey Gamer, presented by Channel Van Ran 10, my channel. So, yeah, I'm here. As you notice, I'm wearing the same shirt again, but I think I'm making quite a few of these today because let's face it, I'm bored today, so I'm just gonna make a bunch of these things. There's a little thing on my screen and it's driving me nuts. I gotta remember to wipe that off on the next one. I don't want to stick my hands on the screen right now. So today's topic is Mass Effect. Now, we had EA release Mass Effect Andromeda, and it didn't do very well. They released it too early. It was buggy. The facial animations were terrible. The game wasn't well received. Let's face it, I don't know really what chance it had because it wasn't really a continuation of what Commander Shepard did. To me, Mass Effect and Commander Shepard kind of go hand in hand, and to create this whole new clan of people, it didn't hit real well. But people have kind of said, well, when will we see the next Mass Effect game? We're not going to see another Mass Effect game. Not for a long time. And I'm going to tell you why. Mass Effect is owned by EA, Electronic Arts, voted one of the worst companies in America. Well, they've had a little problem with Star Wars Battlefront. I wasn't doing videos at the time of that, so I didn't get to say my opinion, and it's too late now. But the reason we're not going to see any more Mass Effect games is because of Star Wars. Electronic Arts has they have the rights to make Star Wars games from Disney. They have the licensing rights. They get to make games in the Star Wars universe, a very popular universe. Tons and tons and tons of people love Star Wars, and it makes a ton of money. So Mass Effect is a sci-fi space opera, kind of in the same way that Star Wars is a sci-fi space opera. It's a big deal. It's sci-fi, it's space, it's the whole Mass Effect and Star Wars can't exist on the same publisher. The reason why is Mass Effect is not as big as Star Wars. If you're paying Disney all this money for Star Wars, you're going to make Star Wars games. Are you going to make another Mass Effect game? No, because it might take away some of your resources to make a good Star Wars game. If you're going to make a sci-fi action game based on a sci-fi property, you're going to use Star Wars. You're already paying Disney a ton of money for the licensing rights. So you're not going to take some of your best people and make another game with sci-fi elements like Mass Effect. You're just not going to do it. Mass Effect is going to sit dormant until EA is done with Star Wars. So as long as EA has Star Wars, Mass Effect is pretty much doomed. We're not gonna get it fixed. We're not gonna get it finished. We're not gonna get a continuation. I don't think we'll even get HD remakes of the original trilogy, which would be nice. But once again, it would be taking resources away from your Star Wars games. EA is going to concentrate on making those. That's where their money is. They have got to concentrate on making sure that if they're going to make a sci-fi game based on a sci-fi property, it's going to be the sci-fi property that they're paying for. I mean, they're paying Disney. They're paying Disney hundreds of millions of dollars for the rights to use the Star Wars license. So you're not going to take Mass Effect, which would compete for the same audience almost, and then say, hey, we have a Mass Effect game and a Star Wars game, and they're coming out in the same year. You want them both, right? No. You're going to spend all your money on Star Wars. If you're going to make a Star Wars RPG, or you're going to make a Mass Effect game, you're going to put Star Wars skins on it. And you're going to give it Mass Effect elements, but with Star Wars characters. You know why? Because you're paying Star Wars money. You're paying Disney a ton of money. So you're going to take all your good people and you're going to make Star Wars games. You're going to milk that Star Wars cow like Disney does. Stop dinging. I should have silenced that thing. But so we're not going to see any more Mass Effect. I like the original Mass Effect trilogy. Commander Shepard is a compelling character. I love the Renegade and Paragon system. The Mass Effect Andromeda went away from that. That was another failure on their part. But since Mass Effect Andromeda was such a massive failure anyway, and you have the Star Wars license, make your Star Wars games. You got a lot of work to do to make up the crap that you screwed up on Battlefront. So EA's already fighting from behind, and I'm guessing Disney's regretting a little bit letting EA have this. But then they should have watched that a lot more carefully. I am silencing this thing. They should have paid a little bit more attention to it. So if you want another Mass Effect game, you're just gonna have to play the originals, and they're good, so you should. But unfortunately, they're not really available on current consoles. I think you can get Mass Effect 1 through backwards compatibility on the Xbox One, and maybe one of the other Mass Effect games. I don't think the full trilogy is out. Don't quote me on that. May have to look that up later, but I think that Mass Effect right now is dead. It's not dead. It's just in carbon freeze, which is a Star Wars term. Sorry, Mass Effect, they're paying all that money for it, so we're going to use Star Wars terms to describe your demise. I'm sorry to say to all the Mass Effect fans, it's not going to happen. The Mass Effect is going to sit on the shelf, and we're going to have to see what Star Wars does. So anybody who's kind of wondering, where are the Mass Effect games? Where's the continuation of Andromeda? There is none. It's all the resources that would have worked on Mass Effect Andromeda 2, or maybe continuing maybe Commander Shepard's story, they're done. But I will tell you this. If I was to be, let's say Disney pulls the Star Wars license from EA because they're basically defiling it with their terrible business practices, and I want to bring Mass Effect back, because now I need something. I've already got all of these sci-fi assets that I've been using and creating. And then Disney said, we're taking it from you. Well, here's what you're going to do. We're going to make ourselves a Mass Effect game now. Because now we got to compete with those guys. Because 2K Games got it now. Now 2K Games has the license to Star Wars. They got it because EA was stupid. That didn't really happen. But if I was Disney, I'd probably give my Star Wars license to 2K Games. They seem to do pretty good. Maybe hand off a Star Wars game to Rockstar. Maybe one of the Rockstars can make us a Star Wars game. Grand Theft Star Wars. Yeah, steal the Millennium Falcon, and there's fun to be had there. But if I was going to do Mass Effect, I would do the origin story of Commander Shepard. Talking about him being a very young recruit. I don't know what the complete story could be, but you could probably make a trilogy of games based on bringing him to when he got the Normandy. So, taking him up to becoming Commander Shepard, starting him out. And even being able to tie in your old saves to this would be kind of cool. If you always kind of played, as a jerk or something like that, and always played as a renegade, you could still kind of have that, and this would be how he became that way. And then maybe you have this kind of gap. It's like, at the end of the game when he's done, at the end of the trilogy when everything is done, and he's been a jerk for 3 straight games coming up. It's like maybe they say, you're kind of a jerk. We're giving up on you, but we're not really giving up on you. We're just gonna rehabilitate you, and then we're gonna stick you over here on the Normandy, or the N7, whatever the ship was called. It was cool though. Joker drove it, but then it's basically saying, you weren't very nice in your early years. We're hoping that you're gonna get better, and then you, of course, remaster the Mass Effect, the original Mass Effect trilogy, you remaster it, and then you get to show them that you're still a jerk and go through as Renegade in the remastered version of the original trilogy. It's like, no, I was a jerk then. I'm going to be a jerk now. Why would you think I would change? Just because, you want me to? Nah, I'm going to stay Renegade. Because Paragon kind of is, you have to be a Paragon in real life, because being a Renegade in real life would get you arrested or killed. Being a Paragon, you have to be nicer to people. But, you could be a jerk if you want to people, but it won't help you. It doesn't do a whole lot of good. But, so, if I'm going to fix Mass Effect, I'm going to do original trilogy based on Commander Shepard. I'm going to bring back the 2 original voice actors, and we're going to do his origin story, his or her origin story, however you want to play. And basically show them from being a raw recruit to kind of coming up and showing the leadership qualities and having maybe fighting in some battle somewhere, or maybe some stories that were kind of lost in their past, that they just now remembered. Remember, it's a video game. You can fudge the fudge the story. Just make a compelling one. Make a good story. Let us play Renegade and Paragon. Let us make those decisions. Let them matter. If we make a really bad decision here, I want to see it, blow up in my face later, so that when I do the next playthrough, I know it's going to blow up in my face. So, do an origin story. It would bring Commander Shepard back. We all loved Commander Shepard. Whether it was Fem Shep or regular Commander Shepard, we all loved Commander Shepard. So, let us start that story. Let us do that from raw recruit until they get up to the level of Commander, or a high level just before Commander, and then they become Commander Shepard in the remastered versions of the original trilogy, and then we can jump right into playing those after we get done with this. And EA could, as long as they don't microtransaction us to hell, they can do it. They have talented people. They just have bad people making decisions about a lot of things that aren't game related. It's more based on creating shareholder value more than being gamer friendly. But hopefully being bit in the butt a few times will make them a little bit more gamer friendly. So remember, no Mass Effect until the Star Wars license has gone from EA. If Disney ever pulls it, look for EA to go strong into the Mass Effect series, because they're probably cooking up ideas, and we may get it someday. So here's to hoping, because I like the original Mass Effect, but I want to know more about Commander Shepard's early years. I don't really need a new set of people, because the new set of people they created weren't all that compelling. So I'll end it there. To the troops, past, present, and future, thanks for the freedom.